The moment Grandma Eleanor pressed that heavy envelope into my hands, I felt a strange weight settle in my chest. Like the air in the room had thickened. I was 7 months pregnant, standing in the middle of my cozy Seattle apartment, surrounded by the soft glow of afternoon sun filtering through the windows. Pink and blue balloons bobbed lazily above us, and the scent of fresh cupcakes mingled with laughter from friends and family. It was supposed to be a perfect baby shower, my first child, a little boy I'd already named after my late grandfather. But as I tore open the seal and pulled out the handwritten pages, the world tilted. My fingers trembled, and the cheerful chatter faded into a distant hum. What I read next cracked open a fault line in my life that had been hidden for years. My name is Emily Hayes, and up until that crisp September day, I thought I had my mother figured out. Karen Hayes, now Karen Thompson after marrying Mark, had always been the rock in our family. Or so I'd told myself. She worked as a nurse at the local clinic, pulling long shifts to keep us afloat after Dad passed when I was just a teenager. We'd been a team back then, scraping by in our modest townhouse on the outskirts of the city. But now, as I scanned Grandma's words, the truth uncoiled like a venomous snake. "My dear Emily," it began, "there are secrets that fester in silence. And I've carried this one too long. Your grandfather set aside $300,000 in a trust for your education when you were little. It was meant for you, to give you the start he never had as a postal worker trudging through rain and snow for decades. But your mother, she took it all." The words blurred as tears stung my eyes. $300,000. I'd clawed my way through community college and then a state university, juggling 2 jobs, barista by day, waitress by night, just to cover tuition and books. I'd graduated with a mountain of debt, $50,000 in loans that still haunted my credit score, all while believing we were dirt poor. Mom had fed me that line for years. Times are tough. We have to make sacrifices. Sacrifices. Like skipping meals to stretch my paycheck. Or turning down a study abroad opportunity in Europe because I couldn't scrape together the deposit. Meanwhile, as Grandma's letter revealed, Mom had forged her signature as co-trustee and drained the account 6 years ago. The money? Funneled into Mark's failing real estate ventures and to pamper his daughter, Brittany, my so-called stepsister, with luxury cars, European trips, and even a condo in Los Angeles. I looked up from the paper, my breath shallow, and locked eyes with Mom across the room. She was mid-laugh, holding a glass of sparkling cider, oblivious at first. But then she saw my face pale, furious, and her smile cracked. The room went still, like everyone sensed the storm brewing. Balloons popped in the silence, sharp as gunshots. "What did you do?" I whispered, but it carried like a shout. Heads turned. My best friend, Sarah, reached for my arm. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I couldn't answer. The betrayal burned in my gut, a slow-building fire that made my swollen feet ache even more. How could she? The woman who'd bandaged my knees as a kid, who'd cried with me at Dad's funeral. She'd watched me suffer, knowing she held the key to my relief, and chosen silence. Chosen them over me. Flashbacks hit me like waves crashing against a crumbling shore. Before Mark came into our lives 8 years ago, it was just Mom and me against the world. We'd share cheap takeout on Fridays, belt out oldies on the radio while doing chores. But then she met him at a hospital fundraiser, charming, divorced, with a construction business that promised stability. They married fast, and suddenly our home felt crowded. Brittany, his spoiled 16-year-old, moved in with her endless makeup and attitude. I tried to play the big sister role, offering to help with her homework or take her to the mall. She sneered, called me the charity case. And Mom? She just let it happen. The changes crept in quietly at first, like poison seeping into soil. Mark decided I didn't need my childhood bedroom anymore since I was away at college most of the time. Brit needs space for her things, he said over dinner one night, waving his fork dismissively. I waited for Mom to defend me. That room held my books, my memories of Dad, but she averted her eyes and murmured, "It makes sense. Honey, you can use the basement when you're home." The basement, damp, unfinished, with spiders and a flickering bulb. I spent breaks there, listening to Brittany's music thump overhead, feeling like an intruder in my own life. But I swallowed it. Told myself family meant compromise. I picked up extra shifts, survived on coffee and determination, while Brittany jetted off to Italy for a cultural experience that cost a fortune. "We'll manage," Mark had said when I questioned the expense. Manage. With my money. As it turned out, by the time I graduated cum laude, no less, they skipped the ceremony for Brittany's beach getaway. Mom's excuse? She's going through a tough time. You understand. Understand? I'd internalized it as a compliment. You're strong. Independent. Now I saw it for the gaslighting it was. She justified her theft by pretending I didn't need help, that my struggles built character while Brittany's whims deserved indulgence. The letter included a stack of $10,000 in cash, Grandma's life savings, as a start for a lawyer. "Get justice," she urged. I clutched it, the rubber band digging into my palm, as rage simmered beneath my skin. "What did you do with my money?" I demanded louder, stepping toward Mom. The guests shifted uncomfortably, whispers rippling like wind before a storm. "Gary, wait." Mark set down his drink with a clink, his face hardening. Brittany fiddled with her phone, avoiding my gaze. Mom stammered, "I don't know what you're talking about," but her voice wavered, a crack in her facade. I thrust the letter forward. $300,000. Mom. Grandpa's gift for my future. Where is it? The silence stretched, taut and unbearable. I needed answers. But more than that, I needed to reclaim the pieces of myself she'd shattered with her choices. I dragged her into the bedroom, away from the prying eyes, my grip firm on her wrist. Mark tried to follow, blustering, "Now hold on," but I shut him out. Just her. Inside. The door clicked shut, and the tension coiled tighter. Mom wrung her hands, staring at the floor. "Tell me Grandma's wrong," I pleaded, my voice breaking. "Tell me you didn't forge her signature and give my inheritance to them." She collapsed onto the bed, shoulders heaving. It wasn't like that. The pressure. Mark's business was tanking. Brittany had her heart set on that trip. I thought you'd be okay. You're always so resilient." Resilient? The word ignited something primal in me. I was starving. Mom, skipping meals to pay for books while Brittany sipped cappuccinos in Rome. You let me believe we were broke. Watched me break myself. And said nothing. Tears streamed down her face. But my heart stayed cold, armored by years of unspoken hurt. She admitted it all in fragments, the forgery, the transfers to cover Mark's debts, gambling losses, shady loans, and Brittany's lavish life. He promised to pay it back, she sobbed, with interest. But promises meant nothing now. The betrayal wasn't just financial, it was a rejection of me, her own daughter, in favor of a new family that fit her shiny life. When she begged, "We can work this out as family," I recoiled. "Family? You chose them. You stole my child's future before he was born." The words hung heavy, and I felt the first cracks in my resolve, but no. The pain fueled me. I gave her 48 hours for proof, statements, records, everything. Or I'd go to the police. As she left with Mark and Brittany, the apartment emptied like a deflated balloon. Gifts untouched. Grandma stayed, pulling a flash drive from her bag. I've got it all. Emily. For 2 years. I've collected evidence. It's time. We pored over the files that night, each click revealing deeper wounds. Grandpa's will, clear as day. Funds for my education only. The forged withdrawal form, Grandma's signature botched. But enough to fool the bank. Emails between Mom and Mark. Emily's tough. She'll get scholarships. This is for our family now. And Brittany's expenses. $20,000 for designer clothes. $50,000 for her LA condo. All traced back to my trust. But the gut punch? Mark's gambling. $40,000 to casinos. $60,000 to loan sharks. Grandpa's hard-earned savings. From 40 years delivering mail in blizzards. Flushed away on bad bets. Recent emails chilled me further. Mom to Brittany. Don't worry. She doesn't know. The money's gone anyway. And Mark warning about Grandma's suspicions. Scheming to hide assets. They knew exposure was coming and doubled down on deceit. My bank balance mocked me $2,000. Barely, and yet they plotted to shield what was mine. The silence I'd endured. The imlaying that let their betrayal fester. Ended here. I called my old college friend, Jessica, now a fraud attorney. Bring everything, she said. Arriving like a force of nature. For hours, we dissected the evidence. Jessica's eyes gleamed. This is embezzlement. Forgery. Conspiracy, felonies across the board. We can claw it back. With interest. And push for charges. Grandma nodded grimly. First move, file suit tomorrow. Freeze their assets. As Jessica left, she warned. This ends your family as you know it. But it was already ended. The relationship died the day Mom chose secrecy over me. Mom's texts flooded in. Apologies. Excuses. Please. I ignored them, letting the panic build. By morning, the lawsuit hit, served at their door, notifying Mark's partners of the fraud. His city bids? Vaporized amid whispers of gambling. Assets frozen. They couldn't touch a dime. The reckoning had begun. Driven by the raw ache of years lost to their lies. 3 weeks later, the courtroom air was thick with anticipation. Mom looked hollow, aged beyond her years. Flanked by Mark and Brittany in cheap suits, their hotshot lawyers had bailed. Jessica presented like a surgeon, forged signatures on screen. Emails damning their intent. Consciousness of guilt, she declared. Showing Mom's words, Emily will figure it out. Brittany's social media posts flashed next. Trust fund vibes in Paris. Blessed by family. The judge's brow furrowed. MS. Thompson. Explain under oath. Mom declined. Voice trembling. Mark's offshore transfer attempt? Exposed as flight risk. The judge ruled swiftly. Assets remain frozen. Case referred to DA for criminal probe. The LA condo? Mine within 30 days. Brittany wailed. But it's my home. No. The judge corrected. It's proceeds of fraud. We offered settlement. Full restitution plus interest, $400,000 total, asset transfers. And confessions. Or face jail. Mark slammed the table. Mom sobbed. But the die was cast. 72 hours ticked down when Brittany appeared at my door. Mascara smeared. Begging. We're ruined. Dad's partners fled. Please. Don't send him to prison. She knelt, promising repayments from her influencer gigs. But her words rang hollow echoes of the privilege I'd been denied. You thought I was fine while I starved, I said. Now you learn what that's like. She tried guilt. What about your baby? His family? That snapped me. Get out. My son will know I protected him from people like you. Off record. I modified terms, full payment in 30 days. Condo transfer. Confessions, no prison if complied. They signed. Broken. Mark sold his boat and business scraps. Brittany auctioned her luxuries. The wire hit for $100,000. The condo sold for $450,000 more. I bought a house in a quiet Seattle suburb, 3 bedrooms. Good schools. No basement exile. 6 months on. Holding my son, Lucas, on our balcony. Peace settled. A package arrived, Mom's knitted blanket and letter. I lost more than money, I lost you. Deservedly. No pity stirred, she'd paid the price of her choices. Gary Mark left her, Brittany fled east. Mom scraped by as a receptionist. House foreclosed. I started a consulting firm, aiding families against financial abuse. Cases poured in. Each a reminder, betrayal's silence breeds monsters. Lucas stirred. And I whispered Grandpa's story, his sacrifices reclaimed. I'd lost blood ties but gained unbreakable resolve. The cost? High. But freedom? Priceless. In the end. Revenge wasn't sweet, it was necessary. A balm on wounds that might never fully heal.